wanted to watch this with you guys because I was in Lily's stream earlier when she was talking about this, but I didn't get a chance to hear the whole entire context. I only got a chance to like listen to a small portion of this, so there's a lot of the context that I didn't get a chance to like watch. So I wanted to like watch like the full context of what Lily was saying, because dude, she was spitting fire, man. Sent chills down my spine. So yeah, I want to watch this with you guys. It's pretty intense. I was shocked about this. I never thought Sinder would be like that. Dude, I don't think any of us thought that. Like, who wants to like... I know there's some people who are very negative and they're like, I always knew there was something right or not about that person. But in reality, like, people say that about like any creator that's like big or even not even big. So it's like no one actually wants to like think that about people. And it's really sad when you find out it's true. It's really sad. The anger of a patient man-woman is scary. Lily getting angry shows Cinder's done. Never make the whale angry. Ever. There's
two things I genuinely wish to address. Not because, you know, a lot of people were making it a big deal, but some people have brought it up in replies and stuff. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just explain. When everything went down, God, the Bao's cries are forever ringing in my head.
Yeah.
That was so tough.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time.
Like I said, dude, like I couldn't stream the other day. I was like, dude, hearing that, I was like, how can you put on like a smile after hearing that kind of stuff? It was really sad. Also, like, is it just me, or when Lily's eyes turn that color, she's really scary when they get like that?
Being upset with anyone who still trusts and forgives her, because, and I say this in all honesty, the reason it worked for so long is because her words are as sweet as butter, and chances are yours probably simply just as easily manipulated as everyone else.
Yeah.
If you read all of these things and you see nothing wrong with it, give it a few years. The only night that was difficult was the first night after dropping the first doc. It was 10 a.m. I had to go to bed, and just being scared of what the heck a literal manipulator could possibly come up with overnight, and what a shit show you could possibly wake up to. It's literally just hearsay, the entire apology.
Dude, the last couple of days have just been so stressful. Like, what's it called? I tried my best to just kind of like not really pay attention to a lot of this stuff, because like I really just don't want to focus on like drama and like other things like this, because I see this happen in like the indie scene all the time. But like this got so big, I don't think anybody could ignore it. Like this wasn't just like a typical like, oh, this is just like a normal call-up post. Like this is like diabolical, which is why I think so many creators have something like to say about it. It is a huge deal, like compared to all the other like dramas that I've seen with like the large indies. This is really big. And so what's it called? Like I said, I was preparing for my VTuber debut, so like again, I didn't think it was gonna be that serious. Like I wasn't paying attention to it. And then when I saw like the docs, the Google Docies drop, and like I was watching Evan's stream going over them while I was editing, and I was like, holy cow, this is insane, because of how many people were affected by this and who are still being affected by this. Like it is a big deal.
And worst of all, throughout this whole hearsay, it's full of bullshit. If yesterday was the first time you saw...
Sorry, I'm eating garlic bread. If you're hearing chewing, I'm sorry.
...me crash out, which I'm pretty sure that is for every single person ever in this community. I'm sorry. Reading this made me more vulnerable to demonic possession. I highly suggest you check it out yourself. Everything that is publicly available is through receipts.
Is my Cora gonna give her opinion on stream? No. Why would she? I mean, I don't know, actually. To be fair, me and my Cora kind of just stay away from a lot of this stuff because, like, dude, all I do is, like, I'm not even kidding you. I sit here, I watch YouTube videos, I edit YouTube videos and then I upload YouTube videos. I do not have time to sit here with this bullshit, and I don't think my core has time for it either. But there is a reason why I specifically want to watch this, and I'll explain that as we go forward.
Needlessly to say, more stuff has happened, but most of these things don't have receipts, or the receipts have personal, private stuff attached to it that's just you just can't share. Some of the stuff we might talk about today is hearsay because that's just my own experience that happened in person. It's my word against whoever else wants to challenge it, and that's okay. The next couple days will just be people expressing the disappointment. It is typical narcissistic manipulation fashion. Like, this whole document... Like I said, if you don't see it that way, I don't blame you. Chances are you're too young and naive.
I think she brings up a really good point right here. So, when I was watching this earlier, there are a lot of people who have been saying that, like, what Sinder did really wasn't that bad, and how it's actually Nano's fault, and how, like, Nano agreed to everything, and I've seen this. I have actually seen people say this. And it's interesting because, like, there are people who just genuinely think that what Sinder did wasn't that bad. And I think Lily brings up a good point about, like, being young and naive, because, like, when you're, like, younger, if you're not really, like, that involved, if you're, like, a casual, like, viewer, to you, like, this might not seem like a big deal. But as Lily was saying, like, if you give it, like, a few years, you'll kind of, like, look back and realize, wait, this actually was pretty bad. This is, like, really, really mean. Which is also why Nano didn't speak up at first. Lily kind of explains a bit more about this, but, like, from my understanding of this entire situation, it's really scary when, like, especially if you're, like, super young and, like, you don't have a lot of experience and stuff, and people, like, take that, and it's so easy to, like, manipulate you when, especially if lack of experience. Dude, it sucks. Like, it's so easy to get kind of caught up in, like, other people's opinions and not really do, like, your own research because you have such, like, good faith in the people who are giving you this information, even if the information is not what's the word called, well-intended, with good intentions. Yeah, that word.
Just as gullible and easy to manipulate. If you don't see it, I fully get it. I don't support it. I hope you'll eventually see it. It's typical. I take accountability for nothing. I shove the blame over to my man. I knew nothing. Everything was behind my back. I'm sorry you feel this way.
That's the part that kills me about this whole thing. It's the, I'm sorry you feel this way. I did this bad thing. I'm sorry you feel this way, bro. Oh my god.
Like, come on. It's just business fashion. When a company has an employee up, guess what? The company has to take actions. The company has to pay damages and make amends for the employee. It's just business. You burn your Sinder merch. You do what you wanna do. If that's how you cope with this, that's also okay. You don't have to atone for someone's sins and feel bad about the good times you've had. Whether they were fake or not doesn't matter. You had a good time. Again, if you cope by burning your merch, I ain't judging. You cope the way you wanna cope. I cope through memes and making fun of things. That also isn't perfect.
Same. That's how I cope too. I like to make memes. I feel bad because, like, dude, imagine, like, liking a creator and looking up to them, and then you find out they do some really terrible things. Like, it sucks. And you know what's kind of interesting too is, like, this happens to, like, a lot of people in, like, the music industry. Like, they're a great singer, they make amazing music, and then they turn out to be a very, very bad person. No, it's kind of interesting because it's like, dude, what do you do when there's someone that you, like, look up to, and then your whole world just gets kind of shattered? Man, it's rough. I feel really bad for, like, the audience that, like, it goes one or two ways. One, denial. They're just like, yeah, it wasn't that bad. Or two, it's kind of soul shattering.
But if you have it in you and you can cope with it, try and donate everything you've got. Any shirt, sweater,
donate.
Figurine, plush, whatever the is, just donate it. I'm strongly anti-drama. I don't care for it. I'm usually not well-informed. I'm not very chronically online either. I often wake up, go stream, go game, go bed. The thing with the no drama rule is, every time you have rules like this, there's a line that cannot be crossed. Because
No
once that
drama.
line is crossed, it's fair game. It's all fair game. And based on people's reaction, I don't think anyone blames me for getting involved and speaking up and strongly speaking about it.
I feel that's so interesting. That Lily's saying like she doesn't think anyone will blame her for speaking up on it. Like, no, girl, this is heavily affects you. Like, you can say your piece. I think the whole like no drama rule is kind of interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know that like the big indies have like this unspoken like no drama rule, and like that's why a lot of them don't comment on a lot of this like stuff that you see that happens on like Twitter or like YouTube. Like literally what I was saying earlier about how like normally like I don't talk about this kind of stuff either, just because like I said I'm too busy working on editing YouTube videos. Like I sit here and I edit all day. That's what I was doing earlier. But I didn't realize like that was like an unspoken rule. And that makes a lot of sense, because if you look at what a lot of the big indie creators do, a lot of them do not like get into drama. I have been making VTubing tutorials and advice videos for 5 years now. And one of the big things that I always tell aspiring new VTubers is do not get involved in drama. Do not comment on it. Do not interact with it. And the fact that like people like Shylily and other big creators also follow this rule makes me feel like maybe I am right about some of this stuff. Like you shouldn't be getting involved into it. So the fact that she had to talk about it means it is so bad. Like she said, it crossed the line. I find that very interesting. I didn't realize that like other creators actually like took that advice. I thought I was just kind of yapping into the void with that one.
Once a certain line is crossed, it's fair game. I don't give a shit what kind of rules or morals I've got. It's fair game. Man, I do wish I'm living at the goddamn ass crack of the world compared to all my friends. I really wish I could just have a short little flight over and be like, man, I'm sorry, Boober. Everyone is so sad. I don't want to make it sound like only Bao is sad, but Bao got stabbed real bad. Let me just address two things, because I know most people are caught up. Then I'll get you a TLDR. I know it hasn't been getting any traction whatsoever, but I've seen some, let's call them valid calls, where people go, if Lily knew all this, why didn't she speak up sooner? I'm not a fucking... Everyone who's had a long-lasting, healthy friendship knows that sometimes you lash out. I'm not gonna fucking cancel my fucking friends just because they called me a or in the heat of the moment and in great panic they threw me under the bus once. Sometimes when you're backed in the corner, scraping the bottom of the barrel, you cope by lashing out.
This is the part that really kind of gets me. I know that might seem kind of random, but like if you think about what she just said, is acknowledging that she's known about Sinder's behavior, but she never said anything because she didn't want to just cancel her friend. Because when you are someone, like when you are actually somebody's friend, like actually their friend, you're not just sitting here clout chasing, trying to get ahead of the ladder. Like you actually are being someone's friend, a good person. Even if that friend might have said something shitty to you or about you, like you still want to give that person the benefit of the doubt, right? And like, what's it called? This part just kind of resonated with me a lot, since I've had friends who've also kind of done something like this to me. We're not friends anymore now, because she's going to talk about this in a bit, but like a pattern of behavior. If you and your friend have some kind of spat, you might say some stuff at the heat of the moment. Okay. But that doesn't mean you guys are going to stop being friends. Usually when it's a pattern of behavior, like this is a consistent thing that is happening with this person, then that's when you got to start questioning, do I want this person around me? Do I really want this kind of energy like around me? But like, why would Lily do that if she thought this was like kind of like a one-off thing? Like she just said, like she felt like maybe Sinder was backed up in a corner or something. Like I do understand that mentality a lot, because again, we're all professionals here. Like when you get to the high level that like where Lily and all of them are at, you take these like instances and you're like, okay, maybe this is just a one-off thing. But here's where it gets interesting. When Lily talks about this, the pattern of behavior where they find out it's not just a one-off thing, and that's important.
You deflect. I'm not saying it's good, but it happens. I'm not gonna throw a Google Docie out there just because
It may be a pattern since a good amount of like the ASMR people are saying she did the same thing as Tashi. I heard that actually. But here's the thing. If you were Lily, why the hell would you spend time digging through ASMR forums and trying to find that kind of stuff out? Like, who has time to do that? You know? Like, if you're not really aware of it, if people don't really talk about it. And here's the thing. There are some people who say, okay, that was their past self. Maybe they've changed. Because some people do change. Some people do deserve second chances. You can always give people the benefit of that. We don't know. We don't know any of that kind of stuff. But like, sometimes you just don't really like take that into consideration, especially if they seem normal and like they're behaving pretty well. Like Lily said earlier in the video, Cinder's words are like butter. So it's very easy to be manipulated because like the sweet talking and just appears normal. Like appears like a chill guy. You know what I mean? You'd be surprised. See, that's the thing though. Like you'd be surprised. Like some people do change, and that's my speculation. Like I said, unless someone strictly told her that, I get why, like, they'd be friends, right? That's just my speculation.
I've been mildly done wrong once. You know? The actual starting point, the dominoes fell, when one thing leaked. One singular thing. Like 5 or so days ago. It was about me being slandered, throwing all kinds of accusations around to Nano, making me seem problematic. They were saying I dodged collabs with them. Collabs that had like 7 other people in there. Collabs I was thrown into in a big group chat and simply said, sorry, can't do. Because I have something that day. One of them was a dentist thing. The day after the dentist, I just simply didn't want to. And the other one, yeah, I dodged. Yeah, I did. Because at that one, I already knew. The one person that is the reason for me dodging is the one concerned as to why I'm dodging. What about the 6 other people who were just looking at me dodging and going, oh, okay, she's busy. It's kind of weird that the only person that has a reason to be weary was actually weary.
I don't understand that mentality. Like, now, some people might sit here and think, yeah, why would Cinder be so obsessed over the fact that Lily didn't want to collab with her? Here's the thing. I have seen, what's it called? I have had like other VTubers get mad at me for making a collab shorter. Like I have a lot of doctor's appointments that I have to go to. And sometimes like I have to go. I have to go early. So if we plan to do like a collab for like 4 hours and stuff, and I'm not talking about like a one-on-one collab, if we're in like a group collab and I gotta dip out and I'm not the one hosting the collab. So if someone else, basically what that means is someone else is hosting it. I'm just someone attending the collab. If I gotta dip out early, I've actually had people who's not the host, just other people who are also attending get mad at me for dipping out early. And like, I don't understand that mentality very well because here's the thing, nobody owes you their time. Nobody owes you their time. Like, you don't owe anyone anything. If you want to only collab and you get into a collab and you feel like the vibes are off and you want to dip out early, that's your right. It's your time. It's your community and it's like your mental health. And that's something that I don't really understand. Like, I don't understand how some creators have developed that mentality of like, no, we should do these collabs, do these really, really long collabs. And if you dip out, you must hate me. And it's like, that is a really big stretch. Some people just get tired. Some people don't have a lot of like spoons to want to do that collab for that long. And you know what? Maybe sometimes the vibes are off and they're just not really feeling it. Like, it's really weird to take something so personally like that. It's weird. You always gotta trust your instincts, you know what I mean?
It's called projection.
Yep.
Because she f***ing knew. Anyways, I was accused of not acknowledging her when she rates. Oh, sorry. You know when Buff rated me earlier, I'm sorry for not calling Buff's full government name.
This is weird.
Pup of Twitch.tv, thank you so much for your raid and bringing your community from Buff Pup from Twitch.tv over here. Now I get to say it. When she rated, she is
so
on the
weird.
fucking stage. I am pausing my sponsor to talk to her. I'm having a normal reaction to a raid like I have with everyone. Gotta get the full government name out there because apparently else people don't feel don't feel graced. Like, damn, I'm
so
sorry.
weird.
Oh, yeah, them saying I've been weird ever since V-Card, which also isn't true. We've literally done a collab ever since. We've talked ever since. I contacted her for a technical issue that you guys said she also had ever since. Just a bunch of stuff that makes me sound weird and competitive when...
I don't know why, but like this stuff really irks me so much. Like when you have that much anxiety that you start overanalyzing like your friends, like every move and stuff, it's so weird. Basically, it's like if Lily didn't acknowledge your raid, that doesn't mean she hates you. That's just so weird. I don't, it's weird because it's not just Sinder who's like this. I've talked to other VTubers who are like this. And like, I've stopped being friends with people because of this. Because like, I'm sorry, but if you really think someone hates you because they didn't say your full government name, that's really, really weird. Like that's not the person's fault. And it's sad that Cinder's not the only kind of VTuber who's like this, or just creator in general. It's a weird, like, it's like an entitlement thing. I don't know. It boggles my mind, man. There's something else I wanted to say, but I kind of forgot. Like, because this whole situation's like so like intense, and Lily has a very intense stare, and I get lost in her eyes. I like it when she's angry, but also scared. But also I like it, but also I'm scared. Insecurity, anxiety, and entitlement. Yeah, I don't know. It's like one of those things where, like, my own personal experience, I used to have like this one VTuber friend who would always just want to voice call with me all the time. And like, I'm very busy and I don't do well with voice calls because I have a hard time with my auditory like processing. So I get distracted very easily. I'm not very good at listening. And what's it called? If I like didn't voice call with this person, they would just assume that like I didn't like them anymore. It was super weird. And I'd be like, no, I'm just busy. And they would take that as a, oh, you're just so big and famous now, you're too busy to hang out. And it's like, no, girl, like, no, it's not that. I just like, it's not that I am so like busy to hang out with you. It's I have to choose between editing this video or being in a voice call when we could just text. I am a big texter. If you text me, I am A-okay with that. I can respond to that. But if you want me to be in voice call for you to feel valid as if like I appreciate your friendship, like that is, you're asking a lot of me. Like that. And the thing is, I would give into stuff like that. I would give into that kind of stuff because I'd feel bad. I would feel bad for like this person. And I'd spend hours in voice call. And you want to know what we mostly talked about? It was mostly them talking about other creators. And I'd just sit there and be like, wow, that's crazy. Wow. Or it'd be them talking about how much they feel bad about their Twitch viewership and how much people aren't watching them or how people aren't giving them money. And I'd be like, you could do so many things to like help. I can give you advice and like I can help give you ideas. And what a lot of it turned out to is just they just wanted someone to like vent and just kind of like feed their ego and stuff. And that just became a lot on me. And that's why like that's what irks me. It's this entitlement. It's this entitlement of like, I need someone to make me feel valid of my existence, when it's like, no, it's not other people's responsibility to make you feel valid. It is your own responsibility. That is why there is therapy. Okay. That is why there's counseling. Okay. Like, doing this is not okay. It's very toxic. And like, I might not be as big as like all these other creators and stuff, but I have dealt with this for years. This is the first year I'm not dealing with this shit anymore, which is why, like I said, I was like really bummed, even though I am not involved in this. I know what this feels like because I've been dealing with this for years. And I understand Lily's frustration in this because it is so frustrating to like want to help someone out and they just suck and suck and suck and sucked and suck the energy out of you. They call them energy vampires. Or, well, you know, pieces of shit is another way to call them.
Again, reflecting, that one screenshot started it all. And I was like, that's f***ed up. And I gave Nano the receipts of it's not true. Somehow, before Nano worked on my 3.0 model, that wasn't a problem. Everyone who is in contact with me, anyone who is close, even my viewers, everyone knows I suck at Discord. And she knows that too, because it happened last year as well. It's why we have a group chat. with her and Buska and me. So she wants to plan something, she knows where to go, and she has used it in the past, recently. So anyways, yes, I am guilty of dodging a collab, because I simply didn't feel like it. And yes, I am guilty of ghosting 2 messages.
But you're valid for that though. Like I said, you don't owe anybody anything. You don't. You really don't. And if you're just not feeling it, that's okay. It just makes me so sad how many like VTubers and creators feel like they owe people this thing just because they said pretty please. Like, you don't owe anyone anything. And just it really upsets me that like creators like Lily have to like deal with this kind of shit too. I was hoping that like when you become big, you don't have to deal with this kind of shit. I thought this was kind of like a smaller creator like thing, but no, it happens even on a larger scale. And it's really sad. It's sad to think that like people still think they owe you people time and you don't. You really don't.
Where she asked for a collab, which by the way she also only does when there is something business related. AFK drop, VCard drop, any event, any
It's
debut,
just so sad.
any announcement, any merch. Then I'm important. Long story short, that was the one message that got everything rolling because I explained how that's weird, that's cringe and manipulative. If she has a problem, why not come to me? And boy, that's where it started. That's where poor Nano realized that there is more such incidents. She has critical thinking and she's like, if this is weird.
Oh, I love it when Lily, you know what I love about her? Lily has a very special way of articulating the jabs. You know, like I'm not good with articulating myself. I kind of just say it how it is. And that's why people don't like me because I'm very blunt. Lily though, did you not hear that jab? Like she said, Nano has, what was it? What would she say? It was
that there is more. That's where it started. That's where poor Nano realized that there is more such incidents. She has critical thinking.
She has critical thinking. That is so clever because people were trying to say that like Nano isn't smart. Why didn't she do this? Why didn't she do that? Like it's the fact that Sinder assumed that Nano is stupid and wouldn't catch on and like put the pieces together. But if you have critical thinking, you know, it's such a like interesting jab at Sinder. It's a very intellectual way to like do that. I wish I could articulate myself like that.
And she's like, if this is weird, are the others also weird? The ones
she was just missing pieces of piece together. Yeah. They're gonna talk. Lily's gonna talk more about that in this, but it's true. One thing I can tell you guys is information is the most powerful tool you can ever have in your entire life. Like if you have information and knowledge, you can do anything, and that's why information always gets gatekept or it always gets misconstrued because knowledge is power.
Where she literally on the screenshots says she feels bad for doing all these things she's being asked to do. And obviously me being a friend, I talked to Nano and I was like, Nano, I'm gonna be honest, some of the stuff you have here is heartbreaking. I'm thankful for you showing this to me, but I highly encourage you to share this with the people affected, especially Bao, but because you know that one nasty one where she sabotages Bao. And Nano,
this is the thing that I think is so wild. Like, bro, I think I saw, was it Tectone that said this during like the tweet? He like made like this comment about how you guys should always be prepared that everything you say and do will one day be public. And I'm like, holy cow, that's so true. Dude, people record Discord voice calls. You really think that being in voice call with someone is safe? No. I've had conversations of me with other people being recorded where they try to get me in like voice call and they'll try to talk about other creators to try to get me to talk about those creators. And I don't, because I don't have anything bad to say about these people. They get recorded. Like this stuff gets recorded and you might think people are your friends, but you don't truly know someone. You really don't know somebody. And like, you should always assume whatever you say in voice call, whatever you do text people and stuff, that kind of stuff can always one day become public. And like at the end of the day, why do you got to bring someone else down? Dude, this stuff is like actually making me shake because it just brings back just the like stuff that I had to go through, like, and that I'm still dealing with. Like it makes me so mad.
in Giga Chat she is agreed a few days later because Bao had surgery, so it took a while. We made a group chat. Can you imagine that Giga Chat whale comes out of surgery and has to deal with this? That group chat we used to expose everything, not just, you know, from Nano's messages and having to deal with her manipulation, but we also came to realize that everything that happened to us individually weren't those weren't isolated incidences. It was a year-long pattern. Everything connected. It was a pattern that consisted over years. And respect to my friends, we all decided after all of the receipts and obviously being very emotionally unstable to sleep over it for a night. Give it one night. Let's sleep over it. The next day, once everyone was awake and had time to deal with their emotions, we all still knew this has to happen.
So right here, she's saying that like this Google Doc was gonna get posted, but they weren't sure if they wanted to. And they slept over it. They took a couple of days. So this was a couple of days in making. And I find that so interesting because I don't want to sit here and imagine like Lily sitting here being like, ha 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 ha, it's time to cancel her, ha 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 ha. I don't want to imagine that. But it is interesting how this was such a big deal. And so many people were hurt that they all just kind of like sat there and they were like, wait a second. This happened to you too? Wait, this happened to you too? This happened to you too? Wait, this happened to you too? Wait, whoa, hold on. And then they still were all sitting here deciding, is this worth bringing up in public? And they still took a day to like decide that. And I'm just like, holy cow, dude. I'm like, the amount of anxiety these like creators must have been having for the past week and still having to pretend like everything's okay on stream to all of you guys watching. Like, if they've been like trying to talk this over for a couple of days and try to figure this out if they even should go public, and they still have to put a smile on their face, they still have to be entertaining. Like, the amount of like pressure that must be, that's just so heartbreaking.
This isn't just to expose what she's done to us. This is to expose the fact that she is doing these things. Complete speculation. But if that's the stuff that happens in this circle, what else could happen? Again, speculation, but we were like, we would feel terrible knowing that she conducts business throughout the next couple years, hurting more people like this. Turns out it was just a bit bigger than our group. And we all knew she was gonna throw her manager under the bus. When you look at the screenshots, and you know her, and you see the manipulation, the first thing you know is she'll throw her manager under the bus. Everything went live, and you know what she's done? The first thing they both did, they messaged Nano, going, Nano, please. You know what that absolute Giga Chat did? Blocked. We knew this was happening. Whatever.
That's insane. I can't believe Red and Sinder messaged Nano being like, please, and then Nano blocked them. That's insane. That's insane. Like, Giga Chat, let's go. Dude, I remember when I cut ties with someone who was really toxic, and I realized that they're the reason why a lot of creators don't talk to me. And I remember when I finally told this person, like, I didn't want to be their friend anymore. And you want to know what they did? They told me how much of a horrible person and friend I've been to their mental health. They blocked me, and then they went to a bunch of news drama channels and like showed them screenshots of our conversations and telling them how horrible of a person I am. And I'm like, oh, okay. That's interesting. Very interesting. And the thing is, none of it ever went anywhere because I don't say about people. Like I said, I have nothing bad to say, and it didn't go anywhere because obviously they were scraping at straws. But they still keep trying. They still keep trying to like dig up dirt about me, all because I just didn't want to be her friend anymore because she just kept talking shit about me, and like I found out about it. And why would I want to be friends with someone who's gonna just sit here and like try to sabotage my career? It's just really sad.
Ever. We've said our piece. There's no reason to continue to dogpile onto it. But then, the next evening, the quote-unquote apology dropped. But it wasn't even an apology. It was, I'm sorry you feel this way.
Yeah, that's wild.
I'm sorry that happened
wild
to
apology.
you. I'm sorry you got caught in this.
so bad, bro.
I'm sorry, I was manipulated into hurting you. An apology, bro. And one thing that struck me specifically is when she dedicated a section to me and someone else. I am going to be super petty. Not even a section for myself. For someone that is so upset for me not naming her full government Twitch.tv name, for someone to just put me in a document as Lily when previously referring to me as the other gamer subs owner. I don't even get a section for myself with my name properly written. Come on, bro. Don't be such—
Nah, you deserve to be petty for that, though. You really do, because, like, that is wild, right? It's like, how dare you not give me that shout-out, that proper shout-out. You're ignoring me, and blah, blah, blah. Then it's like a one sentence, you don't get your own section. That's crazy, dude. Oh, man, it's weird. I mean, this is kind of how I feel. I'm assuming, I don't think Sinder ever thought she would get caught and blasted like that. So I don't think she had a backup plan. This is my speculation. I don't think she had a backup plan. So I think she wrote this like apology document in like a frantic like thing. But I will say, for someone who wrote something that appears to be frantic, she did do a really interesting like business tactic. What's it called? In like Cinder's apology. So something that, you know, if you've been a creator for a long time, people don't read. They don't read for a very long time. Heck, a lot of them don't even really watch like videos a lot of the time. A lot of them will watch like the first 30 seconds. So whatever your title and thumbnail are in like the first 30 seconds, you have to like catch that attention, right? And so you could say something super controversial or not, and people just won't go on beyond that. So what I thought was very interesting about that apology was that Sinder made the first page articulate in a way that anyone who is just a casual person is going to read it and be like, okay, yeah, no, Cinder did nothing wrong, and then move on. So it's weird because it seems like she wrote it in a panic, but it was still articulated in a very like, what's it called? What's the word? I'm trying to think. It's like, it was well thought out for something that wasn't that well thought out. And I don't know, it's weird. It's really interesting. So it makes you think like, was this well thought out? Maybe only for the first page. Maybe she gave up after the first page. I don't know.
She's a hypocrite.
Calculated, yeah.
You don't get to be upset at that and then put me there, throw me in there and be like, I'm so sorry, I had no knowledge of this.
Maybe Red wrote the first page, you guys. Maybe Red wrote she's gonna come out with another thing to say, guys, Red made me write that. He wrote the first page.
And that's when I got mad, because no knowledge, my ass. A lot of what we know is hearsay. Because the girls spent time together. Vacation, travel, blah, blah, blah. A lot of the stuff that we posted about is only stuff we have hard-coded receipts for. But there is also more receipts. Verifiable receipts that weren't added to the doc because either they're small.
Cinder should have waited a bit longer and take her time to probably apologize. Dude, no. All she had to do was just admit she was wrong. Sorry, this is really good garlic bread. All she had to do was say, hey, I f***ed up. I'm a piece of shit. I'm gonna stop doing this, and I'm gonna try to be better. That doesn't take a lot of time to do, guys. Like, it does not take a lot of time. So that's really all she had to say.
Molly things that just only really become a problem when added up, or they were a little too private to be shared. For her to claim she has no knowledge when I know for a fact she does, but I have no proof other than hearsay, it reminded me of that one fact, the one receipt we do have though, where she herself personally throws me under the bus, and I made sure to
What's the rating of the garlic bread? Well, I kind of let it sit in the oven for 30 minutes, so it was crunchy. 10 out of 10 crunch. It was really good. Oh, you guys wanted some? I have some crumbs on the plate. You guys can lick that. You guys can share the crumbs. Sorry.
Quote her own words, because again, that screenshot isn't public. She'll know what we're talking about. And the fact that she only took accountability for stuff that's been published and not the stuff that was kept hidden.
Guys, all she had to do, listen, all she had to do, this is gonna sound f***ed up. All she had to do was get a pyro pup dog like asset, okay? She just had to like record her VTuber model, take the pyro pup and hold it and just start petting it and say, get the tears toggles, okay? Get the tear toggles and say, I have made a lapse in judgment. I have made a terrible lapse in judgment. She could have gone the Logan Paul route. I have made a terrible lapse in judgment, you guys. My actions. I am so ashamed. Like, she could have done that.
So that's enough for me. To have her use me as part of an excuse as to why she had to let her friend down, that very same friend that spent months of prep, hard work, and effort and received a million empty promises, just because a couple days before that she wanted to reschedule a V-Card collab to, you know, make a nice big boom as a collab and sell a bunch of boxes to make some bag. Imagine, for a collab. Could have had the collab any other day too. Could have been a day or two earlier. Could have been a day or two
That's
later.
so sad.
She rescheduled that collab to be on that date. She put it there on that date. People saying, why didn't you handle this private? We did once. And she's only deflecting and pretending to be apologetic.
This irks me. Like, everyone keeps saying, oh, the amount of people who I've been seeing like talk about how why do these guys always have to make things public? Why can't they handle it privately? Like, as Lily was saying, they did. They talked about this privately and they were given the same watered down response of deflecting, not taking accountability. And like, this is what's kind of messy about this, right? As someone who's like dealt with personal experience about this, let's say Lily and Sinder had a conversation and they talked about it privately saying, hey, I heard you've been doing some stuff. If Sinder would have said like, no, it's not like that. It's not like that. Here's the thing that's scary about this. When you're talking to someone who is like a master manipulator and you're having this in a private conversation, let's say this was done in voice call. Do you know how easy it is to gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss somebody privately? Like, when and the worst, and like the thing that sucks is like, I can tell Lily is a level-headed person. She's very logical about this stuff. Imagine like you have someone just sitting there lying to you, but like it's so conflicting. So they did talk about this privately and yet it still keeps happening. Like, it still keeps happening. It's really interesting to like see how little on the internet people actually care. Because even though Lily's saying this, people are still going to keep saying that, being like, well, they'll find every excuse in the book to say Lily's a bad person, Nano's a bad person, Bao's a bad person. All these people are bad people. Because the reality is that people just want to believe what they want to believe. And they'll do anything that they can to prove their reality is correct. And like, it's sad. It's so frustrating as someone, like, even if you're not a creator, imagine just having to deal with this at like a workplace in the office. I know office politics are like a thing. I've worked in the office before. I've seen it happen. And you just have to sit there and just smile because you can't do anything about it. Like, you have no voice, you have no power, like no one cares because it doesn't benefit them. And like, I can only imagine just how frustrating this must be for them, for these girls. And everyone else has been affected because it's like, for years, this has been going on. This has just been a recurring thing. It's like, what do you do when your back is against the wall and this person keeps doing stuff to hurt you? You know, it's interesting.
When put on the spot. No proper apology from her before the crash out. None. She's only sorry when she gets caught because she knows with that friend that she with will mean the end of her career. Because if you're not good standing with that person, you're not good standing with like probably 80% of the indies that mattered to her. She wasn't sorry because she fucked over her friend's opportunity on a day that she said she'll be there. She was sorry she was caught in true narcissistic, selfish, egoistic fashion. Like, you ever do a collab again? What, with her? No, of course not. With others, of course. With my friends, of course. Obviously. Oh, let me just platform that very same person that tried to deplatform me and all of my friends that helped her get there to begin with. Let me just continue to platform that one person that tried to backstab us when begging to be in our positions. Throwing me and gamer subs under the bus to save her ass? No. Oh, the pressure I feel. What pressure? The pressure you begged for? The pressure you told them you wanted to have? The responsibility you asked for? Where you wanted to be alongside me? No. You want a good apology for...
Dude, that's the thing that kills me. In like Cinder's apology, she tried saying how she's just been overworked and has a difficult like work-life balance. And I'm like, that's when I actually like commented on this because I was like, Cinder, I started at the same time you did. I have a difficult work-life balance. This is true. Anyone who is not just tuning in right now for the drama stuff, who actually is in my community, you guys know how much I work. And it got so bad to the point where a lot of you guys are like making me take days off. I know what not having a healthy work-life balance is. I know what that does to you. I have never tried to over my friends or ruin their career. At no point in my entire career, the 10 years I've been doing content creation, have I ever thought, I can't handle this pressure. I'm going to take this out on people I love and care about and make them suffer because it will make me get further in my career. That is the most like that actually pisses me off because I'm like, you know, that doesn't make any sense. Only an abusive person would think like that. And like, I have experienced people who are like that, and they're all abusive and manipulative people. Actual like sane people do not think like that. Okay? It does not make any sense to say I'm stressed from work, therefore I'm going to gatekeep my artist from other people and make sure that they never work. That doesn't make any sense at all. Like that is just a very evil thing to do. That's why I was like, no. That's a poor excuse. That's not what this is about. This is about jealousy. It's about pettiness. And like, people, we just see right through it. It's wild. I don't know why you would think that would work.
When you f up, you ever need an apology for when you actually f up? For when you are the bad bitch? Just say, I'm sorry I acted this way. My greed has caused a lot of damage. Greed that got to me from growing too fast and being too filthy rich by riding on my friends' backs.
I sound like I'm about to cry. Dude, this hits hard, man. Like, again, I'm not involved in this particular situation, but I've dealt with this exact same situation for the past, like, 2 years. Like, literally, this is the first year I'm not dealing with any of this shit anymore, and I'm just, like, not talking to people that I get bad vibes from. Like, if you have nothing nice to say about other people, and that's a reoccurring pattern, I'm not gonna talk to you. Like, I can sniff that shit out now after doing this for 5 years. Like, I can clock you. So that's why like this stuff really like resonates with me, because it's like I've been dealing with this. Like I've been on that receiving end, and like it's so annoying.
Instead of seeing how grateful I was supposed to be for it, I saw him as nothing but an asset. I've been truly blinded by how absolutely malicious, vile, and toxic I've treated them behind the scenes. Pretending to be a friend while separating business and sabotaging them. I can never repair the damage I've caused. And I see now clearly what it truly means to lose everything that you are supposed to be grateful for. I'll take some time away and hope to better myself. I'll never be able to repair what I've broken. But I can try and come forward and be a better person in hopes to have learned from this absolutely awful thing that I've done to my most closest and most supportest, loving friends that are the sole reason I have this platform to begin with. Boom. Just owe up to it.
That was a really great apology. Like, yeah, no, honestly, Sinder could just like take that word for word and just copy and paste that. Honestly, that would be really good. If I were her, I would just do that.
Some accountability. Just be like, yeah, I've been a
Imagine if she did. Listen, I look, maybe she should. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe she should. Too late. Listen, maybe she should. Maybe she should be like, I watched Lily's video and that hit me really hard. The reality has finally struck in. Lily, you were right. What you said, you phrased it really well. I have not been doing a good time articulating myself. Like, god dang, dude. That she could save herself that way. Are they gonna be happy with her? No. It's all about setting things right, dude.
Yeah, I've been blinded so blinded by my success and money and greed for even more. The greed was unbearable. Yes, I'm terrible. Of course I wouldn't believe her. What the fuck? Manipulator. But it's the only way to set things right and to maybe not be a fucking laughingstock for like the next half a year. Subscribe for business!
This is what kills me. Look at this meme, bro. It's just business. Oh my god. Like I said, top tier though. She really killed it with this one. Like I said, I feel really bad for Cinder's community. Like I said, it is so hard to want to support someone that you know is not a good person and still choosing to support them. That's on you. Like, it's just, I feel so bad for you. I really, really do. Just know that if Lily has to say something about this, you know you done messed up. You know you done messed up, man. But after all, guys, it's just business, right? Oh, God. That's just crazy. Man. This sucks, man. Why can't people just be cool and chill? Why can't they just be cool and chill?